Muslim is the fact that we're encouraged to remember our Creator 24/7, as often as we can, to realize that Allah is the real truth and the real existence, and nothing else really exists except Allah. And because of that when I remember that, it relieves the stress of life itself and brings me pleasure. So to enjoy our life as it is given to us and be grateful for what we have. So that's the thing that gives me pleasure most.
يشعر صالح بأن العالم الإسلامي الذي عرفه ذات يوم يتغير.
We have a world today that's based on consumerism, and it has impacted what we could call the Muslim world as well. And so this has created a lot of confusion as far as our value systems go, and the fact that morality is important for the faithful person to follow the high codes of morality that have been brought by all the prophets of God.
عاش صالح في ماليزيا قرابة 7 سنوات، واستمر بعمل البناء مطورا تقنيات خاصة فيما يخص الأسقف والسطوح المقنطرة. فقد تم توظيفه من قبل شركة مابانك في قسم بناية البحث والتطوير، عاملا على اختبار المواد البديلة والأفكار الجديدة لتوفير الوقت والجهد.
The country of Malaysia before, who was a bit westernized from British colonialism, and they adapt the same way. They have to pray and remember firmly their intentions to follow the right way, in spite of all the temptations that the unknown way is leading of the Western world. That's not really guided to any objective other than to keep money flowing. So that's what we have to do wherever you're at.
أما في الأدغال فقد قام صالح بإدارة عمل مزدهر لحليب الماعز، حيث يبيع الحليب للماليزيين للأغراض الطبية. عرضت ماليزيا فرصة للتعليم العالي للعائلة في الجامعة الإسلامية الدولية، حيث حصلت عائشة على درجة الماجستير في الإنجليزية. أما ياسمين وهي فتاة بعطر الورد فقد حصلت على شهادة في الأدب وتزوجت من مسلم. للأسف فقد انفصل صالح عن زوجته في نهاية الأمر، وانتهى زواجهما بالطلاق.
Where before 9/11, as America is a melting pot, basically we were just looked upon as another cult or another ism that basically was doing its thing, and we always are proud that America is always proud that they give everybody the chance to do whatever they feel like doing, in a way, but not really, not in the real way. But then after 9/11, that's different now. America still wants to embrace people of all faiths, yet and now they have finally started to take seriously and study more about Islam, as before no one bothered. So there's been a change since that dramatic event of 9/11.
فتحت أحداث سبتمبر الباب أمام ابنة صالح الصغرى جينا، حيث انضمت للبحرية ودرست العربية، وهي تعمل الآن مترجمة لدى الحكومة. قربت أحداث سبتمبر العديد من المسلمين الأمريكيين من دينهم. أما بالنسبة لصالح فقد كان الانضباط هو الأصعب في كونه مسلما.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
And about the most difficult thing for me as a Muslim in the United States is to make my 5 prayers a day. Clearly, very difficult in this country where the Azan is not being called regularly and there's not many mosques around. You have to drive long distances to get to. And you know that the prayer in Jamaat is more beneficial. And this, all the distractions. And concerning the subject of discipline, yes, Islam is basically faces that head on. especially through the pillar of Islam concerning fasting. In the fasting, the Muslim learns to refrain from the habits that he normally has for 11 months of the year. And that also speaks about the discipline of other things, the discipline and to refrain from the things when we need to, just to show that we're keeping control. And that's exactly what the fast of Ramadan teaches us, that we control us, that we control the food, and the food does not control us, so to speak. And and the water and the drinks.
بدأ صالح بكتابة القصائد عندما كان في السن السادسة بعدما مات أخوه المقرب والذي كان يعتبره بطلا.
Concerning my poetry writing, this is a gift from Allah that comes to individuals, whoever are determined to serve in the manner that they are brought to serve. And in this case, it's through my poetry that passes through a heart full of compassion, and it speaks of the unnecessary suffering of human beings on earth, and attempts to relieve the unneeded suffering of those who hear my poems.
بدأ صالح بحضور المظاهرات المناهضة لحرب العراق في منتزه كينغمان بعد وفاة أخيه. هناك التقى بشاعر أمريكي أعاد له اهتمامه بالشعر من خلال إعادة تحريك إبداعاته ورغباته.
40 years later, here I am with unique experience and lots of knowledge about so many things that Allah has allowed me to learn, and that brought me to put down on paper in words now in my new writing career that I have now taken as I have gotten older, no longer can do the masonry work of the builder that the builder does throughout his life. I still can build, but I've started now a writing career that's based in poetic and harmonic rhythm that speaks metaphorically and metaphysically of the spiritual reality of our existence, which is so phenomenal that it's hard to explain. So we try to explain to others and also bring common sense to understand the common good, that we all must come to understand that it is our responsibility to protect the common good as vicegerents, as caliphs on the earth, that all Muslims were led to be, to guard all the living things and use what is fairly given in proportion for us to use for our own needs and some desires, but to make sure that it is kept in moderation, that does not lead to our inability to live sustainable upon the planet. And so here at this beautiful place, I was inspired and to write a poem that includes the environment as well as the inner beauty of the human being, that is able to make use of the environment and then respond in a good way, in a useful way, in a loving way, to give back after receiving beautiful good things, which in this case is a beautiful view that our Creator has put here in this grounded plane. Poems are developed from the very fundamental principles and true emotions that come from compassion and love for ourselves and each other. And this does inspire me. And through this, we're reminded of the Creator who created an entire universe that can bring a star to die, let alone every human and every creature on earth to die. So with the power of the Creator, we're able to live a life while in the time we are granted in a meaningful way that feeds and nourishes the good things in this world, including ourselves and our children and our families, in our neighborhoods, in our societies. So this is where the inspiration begins when I start to write a poem, and that points to certain things where we may lose track, and warn them of the traps that they might fall into through the other nature that we have, which is the pride and arrogance and the ego and things of this nature that can actually bring us to turn our blood to cold, that will lead us to betray the basic principles of life itself and come to raise the sword against our brothers. And this we know to be wrong, and we have to understand why it happens and how to stop it. And that's what my poems are directed towards, to create better understanding of ourselves and how to live harmoniously. The gracious hawk doth glide through the soaring circle, and looks clear down as the serving sun doth sink to set and lower light.
لصالح 7 أحفاد، يطبق ابنه وإحدى بناته قواعد الإسلام، ويؤمن جميع أولاده بالإسلام، وهو يؤمن بأن على الإنسان أن يكون نبيلا وشريفا وصادقا، وأن يتخذ من الإسلام أسلوبا لحياته ليكون مسلما ناجحا.
The solution is really simple to bring harmonious living wherever you live, including America, as long as we realize that all the living creatures are here have purpose, and there's a reason why they are what they are, and we just develop ourselves the best we can to bear the meaningful fruit ourselves, just like every good plant that we plant in the ground bears the meaningful fruit, and if it stops bearing the fruit, it has to be cut down and replanted.